that you guys can get this. That way, if you miss something or you didn't have time to take notes, you don't feel stressed about it. I want to make sure that you guys can get as much as possible from this. France, yay! Oh goodness, I love it. I love that we have people from all over the world here. It's really, really exciting. Great. Well, I am Lindsay Mirando. I'm going to be your host today. I also have Jonathan on the line, who is our head of technical support. He is the right-hand man to all of our developers, all of our customers. He runs the show. So, he's going to be here to support in all your technical questions, and any feedback you guys have, please don't hesitate to give. This is a great time for us to learn from you too, so we can continue to enhance and better the product. So we're really excited, and we'll just get going. Let me share my screen with you really quick so you can see. The goal of today is going to be to really help you better understand how you can use Hellobar and use it to collect more emails, get more sales, and really grow your business how you intend to. So real quick, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a poll. I'm going to stop the share actually for 1 second. And I want to take a few quick polls for you guys so I better understand how I can support you today. I really want to try to customize this to you, and we'll have plenty of time for Q&A. So I'm going to launch this first one. If you could tell me, what size business do you have? Are you a solopreneur? Maybe you have a team of 5, team of 2 to 5, just so I can get a better idea of the support you have, the support you need. Okay, so we're kind of a lot of solopreneurs. Makes total sense. We've got some people with teams of 2 to 5 and some people with 5+. So we've got an awesome combination of people. That's great. This better helps me to understand. Okay, so I'm going to do another quick poll. I'm just going to do a few quick polls as we get started. Let's see how I do this. Okay. All right, next question. How many of you guys have the script installed? I just want to see, do you have the Hellobar script currently installed or not? So it's just so really quickly, for those of you that do have it installed, I'll take a quick tour on how to install it just so people can see. And then if those who need further help after, we can certainly set up a time to chat and I can walk you through installation as well. Okay, so we do have about 35% of the people that have not installed yet. Okay, I got one more question for you, and then we will definitely just get started. Okay, what is your digital marketing level? I just want to better understand. Again, no one will see this, just me. I can't even see who you are when you're doing this, but beginner, intermediate, advanced, I just want to better understand what level you consider yourself at when it comes to digital marketing so that I can really speak to that and make sure I'm hitting at all levels. So awesome. Okay, so we kind of have a lot of beginner, a lot of intermediate, and some advanced. So we've got a good mix of people, which is great. So we'll make sure to kind of try to hit it at all levels. And of course, as you have questions as you go along, I'm here to support. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you could do me a favor and you could type in the chat, let me know you can see my screen okay. That would be super helpful to me. Let's see. All right. Great. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get started. I'm actually going to leave the chat open so I can see it. So you're not going to see this in full PowerPoint view, but you'll see the slides ahead. Hopefully that doesn't distract you too much, but I want to be able to make sure that I can see you guys' chat. Jonathan will be here to support as well. Okay, so again, we're here for Hellobar Training 101. For those of you that don't know, I just want to give you a quick, what is Hellobar? Who are we founded by? Who the heck is this company? Because I think that's really important for reference of what we do over here. So Hellobar was acquired by the 3 gentlemen on this slide back in 2011. Mike Camo, Neil Patel, and Heen Shah. And so these 3 guys have a really great mix of marketing experience. Mike on the left spent many, many years running his dad's dealership down in San Diego and learned all levels of positions, and then really got into depth into the digital marketing world and has been doing that ever since. Has been partnered with Neil for many years now. Neil, I know a lot of times doesn't need introduction, but for those of you that don't know Neil, Neil's founder, Neil Patel, also Crazy Egg, as well as Hellobar. And Neil specializes in helping people get organic traffic to their websites. Currently, his website receives around 1 million visitors a month. So what's great about working with Neil and having him be a co-founder of this company is we get to practice and test stuff on his site, see how it works, and then share it with our Hellobar community and add new templates to Hellobar. So one of the things you'll notice about Hellobar is it's a software that we actually use. And that's in fact why they acquired the company, because Neil wanted a better way to gather more email addresses for his website. And he found Hellobar and he decided that it would be a good decision to purchase the company. So it's really cool that we get to test stuff on his site, and also it's, what Neil is constantly using, and then we get to learn from him and change it in Hellobar. And then Heaton Shaw, also co-founder of Crazy Egg and Hellobar. He is just an insane product developer. If you read about him, you'll see all of his accolades, but he comes from the product development mindset, which is really cool. We've got a really good mix of marketing and product development to help us continue to evolve this product. So that's our team, alongside Jonathan, who's here with us. For those of you who didn't hear, he is the head of technical support. He is the right-hand man to our developers. We have our entire development team. And then myself, I'm Lindsay. I'm the global community director over here at Hellobar. I come from 15 years marketing experience and have spent a lot of time in the digital marketing space, from product launches to really focusing on bringing brands into the digital age to now more product development. So I'm excited to be here with you. I'm excited to share what works, what doesn't work, and support you in your Hellobar journey. Okay. So here's the problem that we find a lot is that 90 to 99% of people, visitors, are going to your site, but they're not taking action. They're not actually putting their email address in, or they're not actually purchasing. And that's obviously a major problem, right? And let me move this down because you probably can't even see the screen. I apologize. So it's a big problem that's occurring. And so why is this happening? And what I want to cover with you today is really the main reason why is strategy. A lot of people don't have a strategy when it comes to their website. So what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to walk you through a tour of Hellobar. I'm going to walk you through the same strategy that we use with all styles of businesses, whether it be a small business or a Fortune 500 company. We use the same strategy to approach every site. And I really want to walk you through that strategy because I believe that's why 90 to 99% of visitors are leaving sites. Because the reality is what's really happening a lot of the times is this is what I like to call throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping something sticks. So we look at pop-ups in Hellobar, we look at all the different features that it has and what we could do, and we just try a bunch of things and hope something works. Can anyone relate to that? Does anyone feel like sometimes you're just like throwing stuff up, hoping it works, maybe don't have the full-fledged strategy behind it? So yes, okay, cool. Yeah, and it happens a lot. I've worked with business owners in all different industries, all over the world, large, small, and we find it a lot that people are just like, I know I need to collect more email addresses. I know I want to get more sales. I'm not sure how, and I'm just putting a bunch of pop-ups up and it's not working. So that's why I really want to be doing these trainings so I can support you guys in using Hellobar in the most effective way so that you can get the best results. So this is the strategy that we use. And you may be thinking, well, this kind of sounds simple. But the problem is not a lot of people are using this strategy and they're not actually implementing it. And the second thing is sometimes we get really excited and shiny object syndrome that I like to call. And so we start with, kind of approaching our website like this. And then suddenly we hear that we should do this with our website and we're off in a totally different direction instead of really staying focused. So when it comes to using any sort of pop-ups and conversions, right? So conversions meaning you want to get the visitors that are hitting your site, you want them to take an action, whether it be get their email address, get them to click, get them to like your Facebook page. You want them to take an action, right? So when it comes to this, when we start to set up our sites, any of our websites or our client sites, this is the strategy we use. First and foremost, what is your goal? And when I say what is your goal, is you want to think about what is the number one action step you want your customer to take. So here's a tip. This is what happens a lot of times, right? And why users leave. They get kind of overwhelmed because they're not sure what step you want them to take. They're on your page, you have 5 calls to action that are all going to different pages, then suddenly something pops up, takes some different call to action, and it gets kind of confusing. So when we think about our site, for example, Neil Patel Digital, Neil's site, right? So some of you may or may not know, but we started an agency this year, an SEO agency, right? So when we think about Neil's site, our main goal at this point is to get people to register potentially to learn more about our SEO agency if that's something they're interested in, or to be educated about SEO and getting more traffic, right? So we've got that main goal, but ultimately leading down the path of, ideally, we like companies that are interested in the agency. So when we're thinking about it, you've got to think about that one main goal. So if the goal is to get people to fill out a form, then that's what you really want to focus all your calls to action getting people to do. If the goal is perhaps you are an insurance brokerage and you want to get people to get a quote, then maybe you might do a click goal in Hellobar and get them to go to the form. Maybe you're a lawyer and you're trying to get people to register for consultations. So you really want to have calls to action that get people to that consultation page. So instead of having so many calls to action taking people to so many different pages, focus on one main goal. Because if you put all your force and power behind that one main goal, really grow it, get it to the point you want, then you can create another goal. But think about if you have a few different calls to action on a website and they're all going to different places, then you're not going to have as much focus in that one area and you're going to be kind of spread out. So one, thinking about your goal. Once you decide what your goal is, then you want to start to look at your analytics. So you want to look at your Google Analytics. And in your analytics, you want to see what are the top pages that people are going to. Where is my traffic going? What's happening on those pages? That is key, right? So let's say we have a client, for example, that has a blog post that gets around 25,000 visitors a month. It's like one of the main spaces that his visitors go. So what we looked at is, well, okay, so now we know this is a top page. So we want to put a call to action there, right? We want to put something there. But what do you put in Hellobar? Do you put a bar? Do you put a page takeover? Do you put, a pop-up? Do you put a slider? What do you put? So one of the things I want to get you guys to start thinking about is not all pop-ups are the best fit for certain pages. So when you look at the analytics, what you want to look at is what are people doing on that page? Are people staying a long time on that page? Do you want to get people to go from that page to another page, or do you just want to get people to stay? Are people leaving that page? That's what you kind of want to start to think about. If people are leaving that page, and I'll show you how to do this today, you'll think about maybe an exit intent, which is, you can do a pop-up or a page takeover when someone goes up to the URL bar and tries to leave, then that's called an exit intent, right? If people are not leaving the page and they're staying on the page, maybe you might want to think about like a bar, because the bar is on the top and it can follow them down their journey. So there's a lot of different things you want to think about, but it all starts with what's your goal and looking at your analytics and asking yourself what people are doing. Okay, then from there, you've got to execute. So this is something that a lot of people may not know about how we test, but I want to share it because I think it's unique and I think it's really, really valuable, and it supports us in getting great results. So we don't actually test a pop-up on every single page. We start with testing, whatever pop-up we're going to do, whether it be, an exit intent or a bar. We start with just testing it on 3 to 5 pages. And here's why. We pick our top traffic pages. So the pages that are getting the most views, we pick that, and then we test them there because that gives us our biggest pool of people to test on, right? If we're going to test on a page that only has 5 to 10 views, that's not going to make sense. We're not going to get enough data to tell us what to do or what people want. But if we test on a few different pages and just pick the top pages and test on them, we're going to be able to get a lot more information. So that's kind of the strategy that we use. We look at what our goal is, we evaluate the analytics, and then we pick our top pages to test on. And then from there, we really usually start with text first. So we start with just testing a few different text variations. You only want to test one variable at a time. If you test multiple variables, for instance, you have one test that has this text in this graphic, another test on the same page that has this text in this graphic, you're never going to know what the actual variable is that changed the test. So really sticking sticking to a simple approach to this will allow you to get enough data. Then from there, you can say, okay, this test is working really, really well, so I'm going to put it site-wide, or I'm going to put it on these pages. And a good conversion rate would be anywhere from like 2 to 3%. So if Hellobar is telling you you're converting at like 2 to 3% upwards, you're in a good range. If it's telling you that you're converting below 1%, you definitely want to throw a few more tests in, a few more text variations in, and we'll talk about that today as well. So that's just kind of an overview of how we approach the site. Why don't we dive into the tour? I'm going to show you how to use Hellobar. I'm going to do it from more of a marketing standpoint so you see how we approach it. I'm going to show you a few examples of headlines and a few examples of some great pop-ups that work really well. And then we'll have plenty of time in the end for Q&A. So don't worry, your questions will all be answered between Jonathan and myself. So let's go ahead and let's pop up Hellobar. How's everyone doing over there? You still with me? Still there? You can type in the chat, let me know. All right. So we are in the back end still. Okay, cool. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Steve. Awesome. Thanks, Jonathan. Awesome. Cool. Oh, Desiree, yay. So good to see you on here. Cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into Hellobar. So real quick, I know some of you don't have the script installed. Oh, good to see you, Lizzie. I know some of you don't have the script installed, so I'm going to do quick. It's going to be under a few minutes for those of you that do have the script already installed. Please don't tune out. Or you can tune out for a second, but please stay on because we're going to keep going further. Okay. So for those of you that don't have the script installed, when you log into your Hellobar, you will see the first thing that you'll get prompted is that to install the Hellobar script. Okay. So if you have already, logged into Hellobar and you're not seeing that script install prompt anymore, I'm just going to show you really quick if my app will work with me here today. That you can basically see it in the main page. So, all right, I'm going to stay on this install page just so I don't waste anyone's time. So there's a few options here. So you can, one, when you're in the install, you can install the code yourself. So that's an option, and it gives you the script and the information right here. For those of you that use WordPress, which I know a lot of people do, I'm going to show you how to do it really quick so I can show you how to do it yourself. So if you use WordPress, you would simply hit download. You would download the plugin. So I've already actually downloaded the plugin. And what you would do is you would go to your WordPress dashboard. So I'm using an example dashboard here. And in the WordPress dashboard, you're going to go ahead and go to plugins. Make sure that the plugin is downloaded. And you would simply hit add a new. And then it's going to ask you, you can go to upload plugin. So again, you would download it from Hellobar. You would go into your WordPress site, into the backend, and you would go ahead and go to download plugin and then upload. Or I'm sorry, add plugin and then upload. And then you would just go to upload and you would choose the file. You'll see that in the downloads, I went ahead, and put the Hellobar plugin, except for I didn't expand the zip file, so you need to make sure to open up the zip file. And then you would just pop it in and you'd be good to go. So that's one option there. You can also just simply email your web developer and they can take care of it from there. And then of course, as I mentioned, if you still need help, shoot us a message. We'll go ahead and shoot you back a Calendly invite that has all the dates and times available, and I can walk you through your install. So that's totally available to you guys as well. Okay, so that is how you install. So now we are in Hellobar, we're ready to go. What I'm going to show you today is a tour of our pro account. For those of you that are still on a free account, if you see anything that you like today and you're like, okay, I definitely want to do the targeting and a few more options, you'll have an option in yours that says want more power, and that is simple and allows you to upgrade to our pro version. So just so you know, that's the $15 a month version. If you like anything you see here today, that's how you can do it. Real simple. Okay, so now that we're in here, I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch. We're going to go ahead and create a bar, and I'm going to walk you through all of our approach and everything that we do. So you go to create new. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this so you guys can actually see everything. So you go to create new. And from there, you get to choose your goal, right? So you want to think about, again, what we talked about. What is your ultimate goal? Do you want to promote a sale or discount? Do you want to grow a mailing list? Do you want to get more likes on Facebook? What is it that you really want to do? So I'll tell you something that is a tidbit here that worked really well for us. We had a client, their goal wasn't particularly to get more email addresses, but we knew that if we grabbed more email addresses for them, it could support in their long-term goals. So originally we started with a grow your mailing list goal. We came up with a really good offer. It was a savings code. Savings codes always work really well. Free shipping works really well. I'm just going to tell you here right now. It always supports. And so we went ahead and chose the mailing list goal. What we found is we were collecting a ton of mailing email addresses, but we weren't getting the sales that we quite wanted. So we made one simple switch. Instead of saying, enter your email address to get this free code, we said, click here, here's the code, and enter it on checkout. And that increased their sales by 50%. So it was a huge, huge difference just by simply taking one step out of the equation. So this is the kind of thing you want to think about. If you're an e-commerce store and your goal is just directly to get sales, you might approach it like that. Here's free shipping. Here's the code. Click here with Hellobar to get that. If your goal is to really just grow your email list, then of course, and you kind of are playing the long-term game where you want to nurture them and you'll get the sale over time, then that's something you want to think about. Now, here's another tip. If you have a super high-priced item, let's say you have like $1,000 product or a bed or something like that, I find that depending on where your traffic is coming from, you may not make the sale as quickly. So you may want to think about doing the growing of an email list first, get them in there, nurture them, then go for the sale. Dependent. If it's traffic that's really, they know you, they already know your product, they're ready to buy, let's get them to buy. But if it's, for example, paid traffic, they may not know you as well yet, right? You want to take them down a journey and maybe think more about email addresses. So that's what you want to start to think about when it comes to the goal. And I think we have a few chats. Dennis, can you give an example for subscription-based services? Yeah, we can definitely talk about that as well. Dennis, can you share a little bit more about what your subscription model is, and then I'll speak to that on this training for sure. Okay, so today I'm going to show you, we'll do grow an email list. Okay, so that's what we'll do. And really the difference is if you do the promote a sale, it's just going to have people click instead of putting in their email address. So that's the main difference. Okay, so now you want to think about what you want Hellobar to say. And this is where I find that a lot of people get a little bit stressed out, or they can't really think about what's going to convert, what's going to do well. Now, because people know now when they go to websites, they're going to get prompts for email to get their email address, right? You really got to get inside your user's mind. You've got to think about what is something that would excite them, that would make them say, heck yes to this offer. So let's say you do have something like a subscription model, right? Maybe it's 14-day free subscription. Enter your email address to get your 14-day free subscription, right? That could be an example of something that they would be excited about. It allows them to try the product, and then it's something that entices them. Now, something as simple as join my newsletter or get on my email list, it doesn't work as well anymore. Maybe 5-6 years ago, it worked better, but we find you've got to think inside your user's mind. You've got to ask them, you've got to ask yourself, what are they thinking about? What do they want? What are their needs? What are their pain points? Here's another example. Let's say that you have a mommy blog and your users are busy moms. Okay, so maybe you would prompt them with, "Hey, get my 5-day meal plan with simple ingredients for free," right? Or get my 5-day meal plan that works great for my family and is simple for free. Click here to enter your email address, because you're thinking about, okay, this is a busy mom. They need something that's simple. They want something that they could do for their family, that they could still cook, feed them healthy foods, but it doesn't have to take a lot of time. So that's the kind of things you want to think about. And I just wanted to show you a few examples of some really great text pieces that I think will get you starting to think about this. Okay, so here's an example, just a very simple, right? Get $10 off. In small print, of course, is of an order of $75 or more. enter your email here. But what I want you to pay attention to here, which I think is really key, is activate my $10 offer. Calls to action are really, really, really important. You want to get them to buy in the call to action. So for example, you could say, yes, I'm in, or yes, I want $10 off, or activate, right? It's causing them to say, I want to take an action. So calls to action are a really big thing to think about. You'll notice the $10 off is really bold. It's really standing out. So that's a great example of a text piece that you can put in there. Create professional client proposals in a minute, right? So that's something showing them it's just gonna be a short period of time. It's not gonna take very long. And then get a sneak peek at a sample proposal. So obviously these clients are gonna be creating proposals. Maybe they don't know how to create a proposal. So they're saying, get this sample proposal, which will support them and help them in creating a proposal. So again, thinking about how you can fast track things for people, what they're looking for, what they're coming to your site, what they need. Here's another example, Amazon. Before you go, check out our favorite deals on Amazon with up to 80% off. Browse deals, right? Doesn't say you're gonna get 80% off, but we've got deals with up to 80% off. So it's like, oh, let's check that out and see what's available. Another example, find a speaking gig in 30 seconds. So this is a great example because the site is basically supporting people in finding speaking gigs. So if you could find a speaking gig in 30 seconds, that sounds pretty awesome, right? Agent gives you access to 1,000+ conferences and the contact info of the decision makers. So what you know is if you want to speak at a conference, you need to get a hold of the decision maker. But how do you get a hold of the decision maker? Well, it's going to take you hours to try to research and do all these things. So they're tapping in to the mindset. And in fact, I was looking at this site and the reason why I put my email address in, I was like, oh, so I'm going to get the contact information of all the decision makers. This sounds amazing. So these are just some examples, right? Again, find a gig. That's the call to action, is prompting them to take action. Yes, I want to find a gig. I want to find a speaking gig. So I'm going to take action there. So here's just a few more examples of, a little quick hit template for you for text. So here's a result focused one, how to get in-store results quickly without risk. So example, how to get out of debt in 90 days. So that's the result that these people might want to get, or less, with this simple guaranteed system, right? So it's simple, it's guaranteed, there's no risk involved in it. So that's an example of a headline, something that is allowing them to get a result, it's allowing them to happen quickly, and it's allowing it without risk. Another thing when you're thinking about your ideal client is the pain, right? What are they currently going through? What are they struggling with? If you can speak to that and you can give them a solution, they're going to be more likely to take action. So how to eliminate this specific pain without more pain. So for example, how to lose 33 pounds of fat without torturous diets or hard exercises. So that's a great example of like, hey, we know that you want to lose weight, but we know you don't want to have to do a bunch of detoxes and hard diets. So speaking to, hey, it's going to be simple, it's going to be easy for them. So these are just a few examples I wanted to show you before we dive into the rest of it, so you can kind of see what you should say, what type of call to action you should put in. So I'm going to pause really quick because I know we had a bunch of things flashing up. If I can get to it, let's see, in the chat. Cool. I think that got it. Okay, Dennis, I'll definitely speak to that. Okay. Gotcha. Dennis, I'll speak to that in just a little bit in the Q&A portion. So perfect. Okay. I just want to make sure I checked in. Perfect. Nick, targeting rules. We're getting into that. Just 1 second. So you got perfect timing. Okay. So you put your text in, right? So let's just do the how to lose 33 pounds minus a crazy detox. Yes, I want to lose. Okay. Again, not promoting anything like this, but just showing you an example. Okay. So today I want to show you the bar, something very simple, and I'll show you about timing and a bunch of different things. So I'll show you the different styles that you can create with this, and you guys can really choose. But, the bar works really well for certain promotional things because it's there, it's front and center, and it's something that can scroll with the person. So it's a great example of something that can work really, really well. And one of the cool things I love about the bar now is you can actually create a wiggling button. So if you just simply turn on, your button will wiggle, which I think is pretty cool, and it's actually converted really well on Neil's site. So when you start, you're in the style, and you get to choose what type of theme you want and what type you want. So you can choose from a variety of types. You can choose from the bar. You can choose from the modal. You can choose the slider. So the modal, again, just as it says, it's a pop-up in the middle of the window. A slider is one that just slides in onto the side. And the page takeover is one that totally covers your website. Keep in mind, it does have an X, so you can click out of it. So we use the most the bar and the page takeover. We found through extensive testing and through just research and testing that the page takeover works really well because people were able to X out of it, and they preferred it over just a center pop-up that was in the middle of the page because that felt more intrusive. Keep in mind when you're thinking about these things is you really want to think about, the goal is what can I say to my users that is going to get them excited and get them to want to actually click and take action, right? So a lot of times I hear people saying, well, pop-ups can be kind of annoying or frustrating, but the reason why is because you're not getting the right message at the right time, right? So oftentimes if I'm on an e-commerce site and I am looking to, buy something, and then I wait there for 15 seconds and I got my $15 off, I'm really, really excited, and I will use that. So again, thinking about where the user is, where they are in their journey, and presenting something to them at that time. Okay, so you've got the bar, you've got the modal, you've got the slider, you've got the page takeover. So we'll choose the bar for now. We'll keep with that. You can also change the theme. So there's a bunch of different themes. So these are just designs, totally up to you, whatever you prefer. We're just going to stick with the current theme. And then also you can hit auto detect colors from the site. That way it actually pulls the colors from your site as well. So wiggle button, I showed you that, which is kind of a cool little feature. Pushes down the page is on. What that means is just that it doesn't cover your actual page. So that's on there as well. That way it's not covering the top of your page. So that's a really important feature. Now remains in place. You can keep this on if you just want it to be at the top of your page. However, you could turn that off and have it scroll. You could turn that off and have it scroll with your users as well. So something to think about when you're thinking about this is if you find that people are staying on your page for a certain amount of time, this could be a great example where you can start to use some of our timing features. So you've kind of decided where you want your bar to be. You've got the placement of it. Do you want it at the top or you want it at the bottom of your page? You can do the size function here, right? You can make it really big. I normally keep it around 50. That's our standard one that I use. But this is really important. Okay, so once you've decided that stuff, you want to decide when you want it to display. And you can use this feature for any of our pop-ups, from our modals to our page takeovers to any of those, okay? So this is where the Google Analytics comes in. So if you find that people are leaving your page immediately, right? So the bounce rate is really high, then you might want to think about using the function of timing when the user intends to leave, meaning they go up to hit the URL bar and then we show them something. Now, a tip for the user intends to leave, I actually would not use a bar for user intends to leave. I would use a page takeover. And the reason why is because they're already on the top. I want to put something up that's going to make a big impact and that's going to take over their whole screen. And what we like to think of as user intends to leave page takeovers, when you time them like that, it's a great way to save traffic. So what if you could just save a few percentage of the people that are leaving? That's really great, whether you capture their email address or you get them to take an action to click to go for a sale. So really thinking about, that I wouldn't use user intends to leave for a bar, but I would use it for a page takeover. Okay, so after scrolling to the bottom, to the middle a little bit, you can see if people are staying on your page for a significant amount of time, then I may think about some of these features, right? So if you find that people are staying on your page for a few minutes, then maybe you're going to delay it, and after 60 seconds, the page takeover is going to come up. Or maybe after they scroll to the bottom, so they've completed the article, they've read it, let's say they're on like a blog page, that they've gotten to the bottom, they've completed the article, so it's a great time to present them with an offer. Or after they scroll a little, maybe you find, they're only staying on the page for about 15, 20 seconds. So after they scroll a little bit, I want to present them with something. So timing is key. If I could give you two takeaways, it's timing. What's the timing going to be? And second, what's the message that you're presenting with them? So you really want to think about, when you're going back to the text, you want to think about what page are they on and what do they want to hear about. Okay, so let's take, for example, a pet store website, right? Let's say you're PetSmart, and your users, you have a lot of high traffic on the dog food page. And then someone goes to leave and you present them with an offer that says, hey, get 10% off cat food, right? But they're on the dog food page. So you're really actually not speaking to that person in the right way. I mean, maybe they happen to have a cat too, but you really want to say, okay, look, they're on the dog food page, they're bouncing, they're leaving. Let's give them 10% off of dog food, because that's where they are in their journey. So starting to think about who your user is, what pages they're on, what actions you want them to take, and what message you need to present to them specifically for that page. Okay, I'm going to do a brief pause because I know. Okay, Steve, I'm going to leave that question for Jonathan. Jonathan, Steve's asking how much resources does the bar use? He's concerned about page loading speed. I'm going to have Jonathan answer that one. And then, okay, cool. Okay, awesome. All right, Nick, let's get to your targeting. Okay, so you've got your timing, you've got your size, you've got your wiggling button perhaps, and you've got your email. Okay, so from there, you go into your thank you page. So here's a key tip on thank you page is standardly what we think about is what action do we want our users to take first, second, and third, right? So you want to think about the customer journey. So they get to your site, they're interested in losing weight, minus the crazy detox. They don't want to have to deal with that, right? So we give them their free offer that's going to be, a 10-day meal plan that's really simple. Okay, so what action do we want them to take afterwards? So there's many different options here. There could be, you know what, I want you to join our free Facebook group, and that's where you take them in the thank you page and you create a custom URL page on your website that has that. Perhaps you want them to take another action. So this could be a prime opportunity to try to upsell them, right? Meaning, hey, here's the free version of the meal plan, but if you want the full 30-day meal plan, it's $4.99. And so on the thank you page, you say, thanks for getting your version of the free version of the meal plan. It'll be in your inbox. In case you want more, you want the extra, 15 days, here's our version of it, click here, right? So the thank you page is actually a really great time to think about what's the next step you want someone to take. So you could use it as an upsell. You could use it as simply putting, here's come be a part of our community. Here's how you can find us. You could also do a video page. Video pages are great where you introduce yourself, you welcome people to the community, get to know you and what you're up to a little bit more, or maybe it's a promo video for your business. So the thank you page can be a really prime opportunity to do that. Few options here. You can show the default message. You can show a custom message. So you can just create your own message. Mostly what we use is redirect the visitors to a URL, which means you direct them to a page on your website that you've created. So you would need to have, either your web developer or maybe use something like Lead Pages or one of those sites to create a page, but you'd put the URL there for that. So great opportunity again. Background color, you can put all of your codes in here for the button, for the default text, and for the background. Default text would just be what the text defaults to. So that's an option. Also, within here, you can actually change the color scheme of the text. You can change the font. Here's the colors. So variety of options. You can bold it, you can unbold it, underline it if you want, not. So you can, by simply just double clicking on these, you can make the changes within here. And then you also have, some default color changes as well. I'm not going to use the image here because a bar doesn't support it. However, if you did do the page takeover, modal or slider, that's where you would pop in your image. So what I wanted to show you today too as well is something that's working really well on Neil's site. It's not up there right now. They just took it down to try a new test, but this was working really well. Is you can boost your conversions by asking a leading question. So you can do this with the bar as well. So if you turn this feature on, you would simply go and you would put in what your question is. So I think Neil was like, do you want to learn how to get more traffic or something. And he had some specific numbers in there, but you'd put the question in there. And then what you would do is you would change the buttons like heck yes or no. And this is what he did. I don't want more traffic, right? So making someone actually say that, no, I don't want more traffic. And then what you do is you have answer 1 and answer 2. So what that is so answer 1 is, do you want to learn more traffic? So the first answer is heck yes. So you'd be like, great, here's how to do it. And you would change the buttons, right? So you would change the great, here's how to do it. And you would say get started or whatever your call to action is. So that's answer 1. Answer 2 was no, I'm not interested. And you could do something like, are you sure you aren't interested? Get more traffic now. Whatever it may be, right? So that's a great feature. So, again, answer 1 was heck yes. So you give, okay, what's the next step you want them to take? Answer 2 was no. So you give them kind of like, are you sure you're not interested? And that's an option there. So that's a fun little thing that's worked really well for us as well. Okay, now let's get into the targeting because I know that was a big question. So targeting is a key feature. Again, if you are on a free account, you will not see targeting. That is a pro account feature. I would say targeting is one of the most important features, and here's why. Because you want to make sure, again, that you are giving people the right message at the right time. So that's really why we use it. We use it because we want to ensure that we are actually giving people the messages they want to hear so that they're not just hopping off the site and not taking action. So I'll go through a little overview of targeting, and then I'll show you a few quick things in the publish, and then I'm going to get to the Q&A because I see it flashing and I know we have a lot of questions, so I just want to make sure I'm respectful of your time and get to enough questions. So by default, you'll see that your target audience is everyone, okay? So that's the default. Now, if you want to change your target audience, there's a few different options. One, you could go to mobile visitors, so you could just click, Hellobar to visitors who go on your site. Just so you know, for those of you that didn't get our email or didn't see, we did release the fact that now our bars bells will be on mobile and desktop. So everything will be there, but if you just wanted it to be on mobile, you could simply click there. If you just wanted it to be on your homepage, that's an option as well. So, you've got the homepage visitors and you can just show it to them. What I want to show you is the custom rule, because I think this is something that you guys will be using. And that's the greatest part about targeting, is that you can create some customizations. So once you've kind of created it, you've designed it, you've got your text in, you know what everything looks like. Then from there, you'll go to who you want to target. So if you go to custom rule, you would just name the rule. So let's say it's, I'm just gonna name it something, traffic page. So you name what you want the rule to be named. From there, you hit the plus button. And this is where you get to decide how you want things to lay out. So when you hit the plus button, you will go to, there's a variety of different options. You could segment it by people from the city. You could do every, 10th session, I want someone to see this. I only want people to see this that have visited this amount of times. But the thing I'm going to show you that we use the most often is the URL path. So what you can do here is you can say, okay, I only want this bar to be shown on this URL path. So you would say the URL path is, and you would put what the URL path is. Now let's say you're like, I actually don't just want it to be on that page. I actually want it to be on all of my blog pages, okay? So what you would do is you would say the URL path includes, and you could do /blog or whatever the naming device is for your blog pages. So keep in mind, if all of your blog pages don't have /blog or /something that's in common, you couldn't use this. But if they did have /blog and then the article, which a lot of blog pages do, then you could just say /blog, and then it would show on any page that had this within the URL. Okay, so you could do, if you want to segment a big group of them, or if you just want to say, you know what, I want it when the URL path is, and I want it to be /blog. So you can put specific URLs in here. You can put, again, group them by what's behind the slash sign. And if you wanted to actually do, more pages, what you could do here is you could say, okay, I want it to show on pages that the URL path is this one, and then you'd hit the plus sign and you'd say, and the URL path is this one, and you'd put whatever's behind the slash in that, and this one. So I wanted to show on like all of these, or you would say I wanted to show on any. So anytime someone hits any of these pages, I wanted to show. So if you want it to show whenever they've hit any of those pages, then you would just simply click show to people who match any of the following conditions. Okay. So again, the biggest things that we use on here are URL path is, and we put specific pages that we want, or the URL path includes, and then we put the, /blog or whatever the grouping is for the pages. So that's just a few different ways you can use the feature. But again, there's a lot of different options here. You can do it based on number of visits, where they were before. So if you're thinking about the user path, you can surely do that and say if they were on that page, now I want to show them this. So there's a lot of different options here. So if you simply hit save, what you'll see is, okay, so that's my rule. And what you'll see is in the drop-down menu, since you chose the custom rule, or I'm sorry, you created a custom rule. If you went back, you would say show to a saved targeted rule, and you'd see the rule that you just created in there. So again, you create the custom rule, you save it, and then it'll show in your save targeted rule function. And then you can just hit the drop down, and now anytime someone goes to that specific page, that's when it'll show. So that's just a brief overview of the targeting and how it works. But that's, again, under the targeting feature, you have the options of everyone, homepage, mobile, and then you can create your specific rules based on what specific pages that you want people to go on. Okay, from there, you've got the cookie duration, the number of days before the opt-in will display again once the user exits your campaign, and then the success duration, the number of days before the opt-in will display again once the user successfully opts in. So I always do at least 1 day so that we're not annoying users, and then keeping this the same so that people aren't getting the same message after they've opted in. Okay, so so you notice that error message that our redirect URL page can't be blank. So I need to go back and actually put a thank you in there. So I'm just going to go to default, show default message, because we didn't have a thank you in there. So again, you can always navigate through here as well. The same functions we are going through, you can navigate on the side. And then from there, you just simply would hit save and publish. And one quick thing I'm going to show you, and then we have so many questions, so I want to hop into those before, I know we have about 15 minutes left. So one quick thing, but I want to show you really quick, if this works for me, cool. Okay, so once you go back to the manage page, that's where you're going to see the bar that you created. A few quick tips in here, okay? If you hit this knob, you can actually edit the targeting rule that you created. For those of you that are going to be doing targeting, keep in mind though, so this is the traffic page targeting that we created. If you do edit it from in here and you save it, it will change that rule. So that's a quick shortcut to change that rule, but then the next time if you go into the drop down and you edited that rule, your updated one that you created here will be saved. But you can edit from here, okay? Here's another thing, you can create a variation. So if you go to create a variation, you can create a split test. So that's the great example. Again, we start with a few text variations, and then from there we go ahead and find the winning test and move on from there. So one quick thing, because we do have this as an email goal, you will need to integrate your email marketing software, and to do that you go to create a new list, and you can view the email marketing softwares. You'll click on the one that's yours, and it'll tell you, it'll prompt you the information on how to actually set up your email marketing software. You may need your API key, or you may just need to be logged in, okay? So this is our variation. You can make any changes that you want in the variation. Once you do, you would just hit save and publish. Oh, my contact list can't be blank. So let's go back and make sure that it wasn't. Oh, it is. So I'm going to actually just change the goal to a click goal so you guys can see this. So it's not prompting me to set up an email. So hit save and publish. And now I've got my 2 variations. So from there, I've got my 2 variations, right? And because, unfortunately, because this is a click goal and this is an email, it's actually not doing the split test that I wanted. But normally, if it was working, because I actually put in the email contacts, it would say A and then B, and you'd have your variations. And then it'll put a star when the winning variation is found. So that's just a quick way that you can create variations. Again, the reason why this isn't working properly right now is simply because I changed the goal, and the goal needs to be the same to create the variations. So once you find your winning variation, you can just simply pause from here and keep it really simple. So those are like the main kind of overview things. I'm going to head into the questions because I know we've got a ton. And I want to make sure we get to everyone possible. So let's dive in. I know Jonathan's been helping me in there, so I'm going to do my best to get to all of these as possible. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. Oh, Jonathan's been awesome. All right, so if you have a question, pop it in. I want to make sure that we get to as many as possible. Okay, so Jonathan answered the loading question. Nick, we talked about targeting, so that's in there. Dennis, don't worry about my first question. It's very specific to me. But I do have a question that might be useful to answer. How come your site preview is still loading? This actually happened to me as well. Yeah, exactly. I was using an example account. So if that is an issue, definitely email Jonathan to see what's happening. Standardly, the site loading should be previewing. So it might just be a little error that's occurring, and let us know and we will definitely figure it out because we've set it so that the site preview loads no matter what. Alex, do you have stats which answer was clicked? Can you be more specific on that, Alex? I'm not sure or if you're asking about Neil's site on what answer was clicked, but let me know. I want to make sure that I better understanding. Desiree, I love the targeting feature. No problem. Thanks so much for letting me know. Jonathan, awesome. And then Nick, do you get the answer by email directly? Can you explain that one to a little bit more to me? I'm so sorry, Nick. I know I was breezing through things, so I just want to make sure I fully understand what you're asking. If you have 2 URLs listed under the targeted rule, will my stats show which URL resulted in the email capture? I don't believe so. Jonathan, can you help me out with that one? I don't think so, though, because you're saying if you have like /blog and then /blog2, you wouldn't be able to see which blog got the email capture. You would have to do those separately. You would have to create a targeting rule for this page and a targeting rule separately and a new bar for the other page if you really wanted to see which page got the most. So you'd have to do them individually to answer your question on that. Awesome. Okay, Alex. When content is selected. Let me go back to the question. Do you have stats which answer was clicked? Let's see. When content is selected, with the question and answer. You know, I don't have the exact stats on that. I can definitely get some more stats for you guys, and I can put them in. I'll send a recording and I can put them in there. I know that it worked really well because we were prompting people and the text was really good. So people were definitely like, I know that it functioned really well, but I don't have the exact percentage. So instead of giving you a wrong number, let me go ahead and talk to Neil and the team about that, and then I'll get some more stats and I'll include it in the email that I send out after, if that sounds good, Alex and Nick. That way I can give you the most accurate information. Okay, cool. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Okay, cool. Jonathan spoke to that as well. Yeah, when someone's answering the yes or no question. Yeah, let me get you some more stats, Nick, on that as well. Oh, can you see stats? Oh, I see. Hey, Jonathan, can you answer that question? So if they have the 2 answers, can they see I'm sorry, I thought you were asking how well it did on our side. I get it now. Can they see which question was clicked on more? I don't believe that they can, but I want to double check with you on that. Can they see like which, like 50% of the people clicked yes, 50% clicked no? Are they able to see that? Okay, let's see. I have some more questions up here. I don't want to miss these. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Okay, got a lot of Q&A up here. Okay, Paul, I'm going to have Jonathan speak to that about the Google score against the pop-ups. So Jonathan, Paul's asking, doesn't Google score go against you for pop-ups? I believe that we've done a ton of research and testing on that, and it does not, but I just want to confirm with Jonathan because he is our all things tech. Okay. Analytics available in the free version. The dashboard should still be there. You still should be able to see, yeah, what's performing, what's not performing, your same views, conversions, all that 100% still in the free version. Can you create different bars on different web pages without the texting option or the targeting option? So if you wanted to create a bar on a different web page, the only thing you could do with the without the targeting would be just you could create it on the home page, or you could show it to everyone. But no, you do need to have the targeting option. So the targeting option allows you the space to say, I want it specifically on that page. So yeah, you do have to have it. Okay, so can you make bars hideable, closable? Yeah, you can make the bar closable. So if you go back in to it, you certainly can. I'll show you if you guys can still see my screen. So yes, you can make the bar so that you have the little X, and that way people can get out of it. So if you just go back into where we were in the style and you go allow to hide bar, then the X will be there. That way people are able to click out of it. So yes, 100% you can make it closable. Jonathan, awesome. Okay, cool. So Irvi, once the X intent with the promotional offer, once a visitor gives an email, how can I send the coupon code? Great question. So what you would want to do if they're putting in their email address, you would want to connect Hellobar with your email account, and then you would want to send it in your email. That's one option. If you don't have an email server or provider, then I wouldn't do an email capture goal. I would do a click goal, and then I would give them the coupon code to use and put the coupon code on the thank you page. So again, if you're in the thank you page, you could create a custom message. So you could go to show a custom message and you could say enter, whatever the promo code is in the end for discount. So that's two options, but standardly how it works is if you're going to collect an email, you would connect your email server, and then you would get the email address and you would deliver the code to them in the email. Also, you could still, if you have an email account and you want to connect it, but you don't want to serve it in the email, you could simply put it on the custom thank you page as well. So the thank you page, you would just go show a custom message and put that, or you could create your own page on your website and put that in there. Awesome, you guys, we have 2 more minutes. So are there any other questions I didn't answer? I want to make sure you guys get everything you need, all the support. If you have any specific questions, I know Jonathan's been in there answering a lot of these technical questions, which is great. If you have any other specific questions, please, now's the time. And of course, any feedback that you guys have, anything you want to make sure we're teaching on or you're learning or struggles you have, let me know. I want to ensure that we get you guys the best support possible with Hellobar. I think that Jonathan's answering the loading time questions. Jonathan, there was another round around, does it help loading time if we choose for the bar not to load immediately, for example, 30 seconds after? Cool, so we've got the cookie. Linda, you said not seeing Jonathan's answer. Can you tell me what question it was that you're not seeing the answer to? I want to make sure we get that answered. Yeah, exactly. Oh, is the bar affecting loading time? Got it. Okay. I think that he answered I thought I just saw it. Okay, cool. Jonathan, can you speak to loading time and any of the bars affecting that or anything like that? I don't believe it does, but I want to get Jonathan's expertise. Okay. Do you guys see that okay, Linda, Alex? Okay, Irvi. Okay, so Jonathan said Hellobar will load after the initial portion of your website loads to prevent any foreseen issues with load time. So again, that shouldn't be a problem for you guys, any of the load times. You got it. One last thing, earlier Hellobar was not integrated with third-party email platform. Is that possible now? Irvi, was there a specific email platform that you were looking for or that you have? Okay. Jonathan, can you speak to that about the integrated with the third party? You use MailChimp. Okay, yeah, we integrate with MailChimp. That works. That's one of our main options. So we definitely, yes. Yeah, you're good to go on that. Easy peasy. Awesome. Okay. Salesforce. I don't believe that's an integration. However, what you can do is, I believe, and Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, you can use a webhook. Not sure if Salesforce uses a webhook, but if that's available through Salesforce, you should be able to do that, Dennis. I'm pretty sure that should be available. Yeah, webhook. Perfect. So yeah, Dennis, okay, cool. And Dennis, Jonathan just put a pretty long explanation in the chat, so make sure to check the chat. Can you assign tag to specific bar and not an entire list? Yeah, you can actually. So what you would do, Alex, is you would need to create that list within your email account. So let's say you create a list that said, targeting 1, and then targeting 2, targeting 3. What you would do when you go inside the bar and you're choosing the email account, once you've integrated, you'll get a drop-down list of all of your tags or email lists, depending on what type of email provider you use. And you can certainly just select that. That way they go into that list and you can actually see specifically, hey, this was from targeting rule 1, targeting rule 2. So yep, that is totally available and an option. Sounds good? Oh yeah, Jonathan says, sorry for the multiple webhook words. It got pasted a bunch of times. Okay, Paul, does Hellobar allow you to show pics in .png format as a pop-up? That would be really cool. So Jonathan, I know we can put JPEGs. I think we can put PNGs. Can you just confirm? I want to make sure I'm not missing that one. But I'm pretty sure. Are you looking? Yeah, okay, cool. I thought so. I was getting myself a little confused. Thanks, Jonathan. And then I want to use the same list of Aweber, however, to assign tag based on bar. It's complicated to use different lists in Aweber. Got it. It would have to be, I'm not 100% how Aweber integrates, but some of the softwares, some of the website, or some of the email softwares allow us to choose a certain tag. It just depends on your email software. So you may be able to say, hey, tag as this. And I know like ConvertKit, that's an option. You can tag as a certain thing and then they go into a certain list. So you'll have to check with your email software, but it may be an option if that your email software is able to do that. Okay, you guys got to wrap up, but I know we have one more question. For exit intent with promotional offer, once a visitor gives an email. Oh, we already got that. Okay, great. Perfect. Well, you guys, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to be sending out the recording so that you guys have it. I really appreciate you being on here. As always, we're totally open to feedback, questions. We want to make sure you have the best experience possible. So if there's things that you want to see that we didn't talk about today or topics you really want us to focus on, let us know. We want you to have an awesome experience of Hellobar. For those of you who definitely want to use the targeting feature, again, you just hit want more power and that will upgrade your account. And Awesome, Linda, thank you. I'm so glad it supported you. So yeah, you'll get a replay by the end of the day, and let me know. You can just reply to that email. It'll be from me. You can let me know any topics you want us to discuss, any things we didn't discuss on here, any specific challenges you're facing. And as always, Jonathan will be here as well to support with all of your technical customer questions. So awesome, you guys, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, and we will see you guys soon.